Well, hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail. You're very welcome to the programme, and as you can see by the castle, we're at CARRICKFERGUS, and I want to show you the old market house here, which is this building here, as you can see. So, the inscription here says, formerly Market House, 1755 to 1843, and the Town Hall, 1843 to 1935. So, this used to be used by the Borough Council until in 1935 they actually moved into the old courthouse. So that's where I'm going to take you now, and I'm going to show you the old courthouse. I'm going to give you a wee bit of history on the old courthouse as we go. Originally, the site was a Franciscan friary, and it was established here in 1248. Now, it was disestablished during the dissolution of the monasteries by King Henry VIII of England in the 1540s. Then the site was occupied by the manor house, which was known as Joymount Palace, and it was commissioned by the Lord Deputy of Ireland, Sir Arthur Chichester. Now, Joymount was demolished in 1768 to make way for a new courthouse, and the building was designed by Richard Drew in the Georgian style, and it was completed in 1779. Now, the courthouse saw the trial of United Irishman William ORR for a breach of the Insurrection Act on the 14th of October 1797. Despite extensive evidence of his innocence, ORR was found guilty. Now, he was charged at the courthouse with administering the United Irish Test to a serving soldier. The United Irish Test, of course, was a pledge or an oath taken by the members of the United Irishmen. Now, ORR did not administer the oath to the soldier. It was actually another United Irishman called William McKeever, who subsequently fled to America. But it was widely believed at the time that the authorities wished to make an example of ORR to act actually as a deterrent for potential recruits for the Society of the United Irishmen. Even the presiding judge was said to have shed tears at the passing of the verdict, which was, of course, the death penalty, death by hanging. So William ORR was hanged in the outskirts of CARRICKFERGUS on the 14th of October 1797 on what was known as the Three Sisters. Now, the Three Sisters, basically what it was a contraption with three nooses, so you could hang three people at once, and that was actually used until 1819. So he was hanged on the Three Sisters on one of those nooses at Gallows Green. Now, ORR is regarded, of course, as the first United Irish martyr. So less than a year later, the war cry of Remember ORR would be the battle cry of the rebels as they invaded Antrim. Hello! As they invaded Antrim. Of course, that was during the Battle of Antrim, fought on the 7th of June 1798. Now, William ORR is buried in the old Temple Patrick graveyard, and I've covered his grave, so I have. And believe it or believe it not, but the Presbyterian minister, the Reverend Adam Hill, had actually been in prison for 2 days for waking and coffining United Irishman William ORR at his church in Ballynure, and I've done a video on that as well. And if you're wondering what a wake is, back in the day, the reason why they had wakes, and they still have them today here, they're Irish wakes, is because back then if you took a disease and you were in a coma, they didn't know if you were alive or dead. So you had to wait at least 1 day before you buried someone. Of course, today it's 3 days, but they wanted to make sure that you were dead. Cheerio! So they wanted to make sure that you were dead. They didn't want to bury you alive if you were in a coma. So that's the history of the wake. So this is the building here. This is the former courthouse. So it is, as you can see, built 1779. You can see the castle there representing CARRICKFERGUS Castle. Of course, it was remodeled, redone, the outside anyway. It was all done up. But there's a wee plaque here commemorating its history. It says Franciscan Friary, 1232 to 1530s. I think that is 1550s, sorry. And then it says Joymount Palace, 1618 to 1768. Present building erected 1779 as courthouse and gaol or jail. Refurbished 1935 as town hall. So there you go. Unfortunately, no mention of ORR, but certainly he was tried here and convicted here. Don't know if you'll be able to see much in there, but I'll do my best for you. Try and zoom in a bit. And you can see a bit. Beautiful building, isn't it? There's a date stone there as well, as you can see. 1779. I'll give you a wee view in these windows. You might see a bit more, hopefully. There's a monument there, a poke. Give you a wee view in here as well, hopefully, if I can. Bit more restricted there, unfortunately. About the best I can do for you. So I'll give you another review of that on the way back down. But it's not just this building here. It's actually this whole bit here as well, because that old building there was the jail, the old wall there, and it was a prison, and the entrance was known as the Hanging Gate, and the last person to be hanged was Private John Gordery of the 66th Regiment of Foot, who was found guilty at his trial in the courthouse there of actually killing his sergeant, who was apparently bullying him. Of course, that trial was in 1844. So you can see it says the Hanging Gate. So not a big lot to see there today, although there is a board. It says the guard room, as you can see. CARRICKFERGUS Town Hall. There's the soldiers. Quite amazing, isn't it? Very much like the Crumlin Road jail wall. Definitely would remind you of that. Now, in the late 19th century, the prison was actually converted into a militia barracks, as you've seen there, with the army on that billboard, the guard room. And so the Borough Council, who had previously met in the market house at the top of the town there that I showed you, they acquired the courthouse in 1935 and converted it into the town hall. And so the business of the day was done in it. But it's not a town hall today. What it does today is it houses the CARRICKFERGUS Museum and also the coffee shop. Now, that's a shopping centre there. And as you can see, it says De Courcy. And that's because it's named after John De Courcy, who built the castle. So it's the De Courcy Shopping Centre. So this is the more modern part of the building, of course. So you can see there, down the bottom's where the coffee shop is, where that umbrella-like contraption is. And then in here is the museum, CARRICKFERGUS Museum. And that's a wee model of the town of CARRICKFERGUS. St Nicholas Church. Of course, it was a walled town. The walls are still quite extensive. And I think that building there was actually Joymount. And then underneath there, and through that doorway where the shutter is the museum. So there you go, isn't that fantastic? And of course up there at the top is St Nicholas Church. Again, dates from the time of the castle. John De Courcy built that. That's where the Reverend Story, the Williamite chaplain, was the minister after the Williamite wars in Ireland. So I'm going to take you back down here, and I'm going to let you see this building, and then we're going to finish off down at the stocks down there. So I'll go to the far side and you'll get a better view of it. As I say, the building today isn't used by the council. They have vacated it and moved. But still being used by the coffee shop and also by the museum. So you're looking at a bit of history here. CARRICKFERGUS' history. Fantastic, isn't it? Once a courthouse and jail. And of course the gate there, as I say, was known as the hanging gate. You had to pass through the hanging gate. So quite incredible. The birds are going daft there. It's like that Hitchcock film, The Birds. You can see the sea down there as well. Nice wee walk there I like to do along the seafront there. From the castle down the seafront and then back to the castle. Beautiful building, isn't it? So get yourself down here to CARRICKFERGUS. There's loads to see if you're into history. Absolutely fantastic. And I'm just out of Papa Brown's. Got my lasagna and my potatoes, my coleslaw, and an orange Fanta. So you can get a dinner, you can get a cup of coffee, and get a scone, whatever you want. It's absolutely fantastic. So we're going to finish off with this building here, and these stocks. There's a poor wee man's getting a bucket of. Well, we'll not go watching that. We'll just we'll leave that to your imagination. But certainly he's getting it poured over him anyway. As you can see. So this is mural and pillory. Of course, the mural depicted on High Street is a representation of Thomas Stevenson's Tower House, which was formerly on the site of the new Northern Bank premises in High Street. The work was commissioned as part of the CARRICKFERGUS project, carried out by Naomi McBride in the mid-1990s. It's very artistic, isn't she? That's a good one, Naomi. Well done. And then the pillory the public pillory is a representation of the type of pillory that criminals were placed in to stand for several days as part of their punishment. Boy, that wouldn't be good for my knees. All types of rotten eggs, fruit, vegetables, sods of earth, stones, etc. were thrown at them by passers-by, so I wouldn't fancy that. So this is it here. Castle Warwick, near this place in the middle of High Street, there stood 400 years ago a stone tower called at various times Castle Warwick. I think that is, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It says Wirral Tower, Lee Townhouse, the Thistle. Entrance was by a projecting stone staircase with a pillory stacks. That's why the stacks are here. In front, the ground floor held cells for criminals. On the first floor were the debtors' cells and the jailers' rooms, and on the top floor, civic business and towns courts were conducted. It is not known when the tower was built, but it was already old in 1567. It was taken down about 1778. So there you go, isn't that fantastic? So, there's only one thing for it. I'm going to have to go in this pillory. So, don't be throwing raw eggs or rotten tomatoes at me. But throw big cream buns instead. Thanks for watching, and God bless.